Hello there and welcome along. The Gardener Ben here. And as you can see, the first flush of blooms in the rose garden is well on the way. And with the first flowers, that means the maintenance has to change gear as well. Today I'm going to be talking to you about deadheading. I've talked to you about this many times over the years before, but it's always a subject I get plenty of messages about. Obviously, people wanting more clarification on how to deadhead and more importantly, when to deadhead. People often say to me, it must be a wonderful task for you to go around the garden and deadhead your roses, but with over 300 roses here in the garden, it can be a really daunting task. And my biggest advice to you is simply do not put it off. And I'll explain a little bit with the science behind why we deadhead. When a plant rushes forward at the very beginning of the season, the hormones and starches stored in the root system over the winter months come forward into the new growth, causing the plant to enter a state of sexual activity. The plant wants to flower and ultimately reproduce by obviously producing a flower, which is ultimately pollinated and then sets seed. Now, not all roses will actually set seed and create a hip. Most of the modern varieties don't produce very good hips at all. But the sexual hormone still needs to be remained active in the plant for as long as possible to actually maintain the flowering season. So as soon as a flower is spent, the best thing for you to do is nip around the garden and take it off. Very, very simply. Now, it doesn't matter really very much how you do this, but it does matter that you do it and you do it quickly. We want the sexual hormones in the plant to remain high and to enter that state. We certainly don't want the plant to realize that a pollinator has visited the flower and actually pollinated it and those hormones to change. As soon as the flower is pollinated, the hormone levels in the plants change. The hormone levels start to drop away and it will actually go into a period of rest. Most varieties will actually then rebloom. However, we want to keep those sexual hormones as high for as long as possible, and we do that by deadheading. So as soon as a flower is spent, this is something I don't suggest you do every week. It's not something I suggest you do every fortnight. It's certainly not something I would suggest you do to wait for the actual flowers to fade and the flush to finish. Go out into the garden just as regularly as you can and remove the spent flower heads. And you can see this is the Queen of Sweden in front of me. And all I've done is remove that back by 2 or 3 pairs of leaf nodes, taking it down to above a leaf axil, and I'm simply removing it. This can be spent. You can remove between 3 and 5 pairs of leaves, depending on how large your plant is. The most important thing is this flower head comes off. Doesn't matter if you deadhead it up here, can look a little bit untidy. Doesn't matter if you just take 2 leaf nodes off, or maybe you want to take 3. It simply doesn't matter. As long as that head is removed and those sexual hormones remain high, you need to do this as soon as the flower is pollinated and those petals start to fall. So don't be afraid of getting out into the garden. It's a really nice thing to do little and often. Maybe you want to come home from work every single night, pour yourself something, a drink, pop your hat on, get your trug out, get your secateurs, or more importantly, your fruit-nosed pruners are particularly good for this, for getting in between multi-headed roses. Get your secateurs or get your fruit-nosed pruners out and go out into the garden and spend, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever it might take to get those spent heads off. Enjoy your garden and enjoy your space. But the most important thing is those dead heads get removed. Once your plant has produced its first flush of flowers, it's then probably going to have a little bit of rest. Not very many varieties will flower continuously. So make sure you consider giving it a good liquid feed, which with whatever variety that you want to choose, whether you're running with something like Uncle Tom's Rose Tonic, whether you're going with a seaweed-based feed from Envy, a seed feed extra, whether you're going for a Miracle Grow. It doesn't matter what you give it, give your plant a good liquid feed, whether it's growing in a container or whether it's going in the ground. Give it all the energy it needs and plenty of water to produce substantial flowers in the season to come. Now, here in the UK, our season has started remarkably early this year. Really, really early indeed. We're in full flower and it's not even the beginning of June this year. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm giving my plants absolutely everything they need, because I want more and more flowers. I don't want to be giving up on the season early just because it started early. Certainly doesn't mean I'm going to be wishing the season away. And come September and October, I'm still going to be expecting roses like the Queen of Sweden to be in full flower. Now, I'm only going to do that if I give them plenty of energy, plenty of water, and plenty of feed. So do make sure you get out into your garden and deadhead regularly, just as regularly as you can. The most important thing is these heads get removed just as quickly as possible. As soon as that flower is pollinated, those petals start to fall. Get those heads off and keep those sexual hormones high, and in a state of reproduction state, so it's going to be producing plenty of buds and lots of flowers for the season to come. If you've got any questions on the subject, don't hesitate to leave me a comment below, and make sure that you're following, subscribing, and liking for more content. I'll see you all again very soon. Take good care now. Bye bye.